welcome back to Kristen Lee Vlogs. For anyone who's new, this is my travel focused channel where I talk about everything travel, but also just random life musings. That's besides the point. In this week's vlog, I'm going to be talking about 10 different items that I think everyone who is traveling on a budget should bring, especially if you're going to be staying in a hostel. This is based on my experiences from last year where I stayed in many hostels and I was like, dang, I'm unprepared and this could be so much better. But yes, and I'll be posting a bunch more of these videos while I'm traveling throughout Europe, giving you more tips from things I learned. So subscribe if you'd like to see that content. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so my first must-bring item is earplugs. If you don't have earplugs but you have noise-canceling headphones like AirPods, those also work. I personally bring both. But if you're staying in a hostel, you're probably gonna be staying in a room that has 6, 8, 10 people, maybe even possibly more, and those people are probably going to be going in and out of the room at all hours of the night. And if you're trying to get a good night's sleep and you're a light sleeper, it's not fun at all. Based on personal experience, you won't get a good night's rest. So bring these to help block out the noise and ensure that you're well rested for the next day. So my second must-bring item is an adapter. You're gonna wanna get a flexible adapter, one where you can change the prongs based on where you're staying. So for example, this one has Australia, it has Japan, it has USA, Europe, UK, Thailand, all kinds of different ones. But also it has multiple outlets, right? So it has this one, it has 2 USBs on the side. You're gonna wanna get one that you can plug multiple things into without taking up more than one physical wall outlet. The reason being is because hostels typically will only give you 1 or 2 wall outlet spaces next to your bed. And if you're bringing multiple items that need charging, it's going to be really difficult to charge them all up to full power at once. So this will just save you some stress. So my third must-bring item is a lock. This is actually a TSA approved lock, so it doubles as a lock for my suitcase as well as a lock for securing my valuables when I'm staying at a hostel. For anyone who's never been at a hostel, or you may have noticed if you have been to one, you're typically given some locker or storage space underneath your bed to put your items in during the day. You're definitely gonna wanna bring your own lock to secure it. If they're really good hostels, they'll give you your own lock, but regardless, I always try to bring my own just in case. This is because as much as we love to believe people are really good, and there are really good people out there, there are also equally shady people out there who are out to get your personal stuff, and it's always just better to be safe rather than sorry. I've had friends who've had their passports stolen out of hostels, had their MacBooks, you know, just secure it for your own peace of mind. So my fourth must-bring item is actually a bit of a hack that I picked up traveling last summer. If you're staying in a hostel or you're traveling for a long period of time, you're gonna probably need to do the laundry at some point, right? They typically have a washer and sometimes they have a dryer, but if they don't have a dryer, or if you're trying to dry clothes that shouldn't be put through the dryer, what you can do is use a bungee cord or a really strong string. I use cord. This is the packet actually came in. It's called cord tightener. I'll link it down below. And you can string this across the room to hang your clothes, whether it's stringing it through your bunk or stringing it between chairs and a window or something like that. And then you can use binder clips to hang your clothes. So this is a really great way to hang dry your clothes, and it takes up no space, right? I typically stick it in like a canister, and I bring about 10 of these clips, so I don't wash that many items at a time. So yeah. My must-bring item number 5 is, again, kind of a hack. It's a metal spork. This is actually titanium, and I'll link it down below where you can get your own. This is really convenient if you're not staying in a fancy hotel and you're not planning to eat out every night, or even if you do, you're likely gonna have leftovers at some point and you don't wanna be left hanging with no utensils to eat your leftovers. So this is a great way to always stay prepared. My sixth must-bring item is a microfiber towel. If you're staying in a hostel, some of them will provide you with towels to shower with and some of them don't. And there's nothing worse than taking a shower, not having something to dry off with, and then everyone is trying to get into the room or trying to get into the bathroom, and you're just awkwardly there trying to dry off as fast as possible. So I highly recommend Rainleaf's microfiber towel, and I'll link it down below if you want to get yours. I really like it because it's soft, doesn't smell. There's a ton of different sizes. I use the medium size just because it's, again, the perfect size for me, and it folds up to be really compact and weighs nothing. But yes. Okay, so my 7th must bring item when you're going to a hostel is snacks. One of the first things you should do after you check in and get your stuff settled in your room is head to a grocery store so that you can go and buy easy snacks. Stuff that doesn't require water, like heated water, nothing that requires being microwaved, just stuff you can kind of snack on throughout the day. A lot of the hostels will only serve you breakfast or have breakfast to buy. And if you get hungry and it's late at night and you don't want to leave because it's dangerous or whatever, you're gonna want something to eat. So definitely I recommend bringing snacks just to kind of tide you over. My must bring item number 8 for staying in a hostel is your own shampoo and conditioner. If you're accustomed to staying in hotels or Airbnbs, you might be used to them supplying you with your own shampoo and conditioner. 9 times out of 10, hostels don't do that. I've only been in one hostel where they gave me a bar soap, so that was really nice, but you basically don't want to be left without your own shampoo and products. So as I kind of mentioned in my other video, which you should definitely watch, and I'll link below if you haven't watched it because there's some good stuff, I like to bring mine in reusable containers. I will link them below as well. That way I can just put my own products in there and I don't have to keep running to the grocery store to buy specific bottles every single time. My 9th must bring item is Advil, Tylenol, just some over-the-counter medicine. Again, it gets really loud in hostels. They typically, more often than not, I've never encountered a hostel where they don't serve drinks or have like some form of a bar attachment to their lounge area. You don't want to be caught without Advil if you're dealing with a hangover the next day, or you get a headache from the noise, or for whatever reason. Always bring Advil. And also, if someone else in your room is going through something, you can always offer them some Advil. It's just a nice courtesy thing. I just stick it in a Ziploc bag, but I always travel with a bunch, and I've never had any issues at TSA or anything like that. So my 10th and final must bring item is a sleeping mask. This is the one I use. It's super cheap. I actually got it from an airline long ago. But if you don't have one, you can just buy one off Amazon, Target. I'm sure some drugstores have them. They're only a couple dollars, so it's really worth it. But as I mentioned earlier, if you're staying in a hostel, there's going to be people coming in and out of the room all hours of the night. Sometimes they flip on the light if they're less than courteous, and sometimes they don't. Either way, you want to be prepared. So this can just help you get a restful night of sleep. That was the end of the video. If you found it helpful, please give it a like, as it helps reach other people out in the travel community who are looking for advice. If you have any awesome travel tips for staying in a hostel or traveling on a budget, also please comment those below. I would love to hear them, and I'm sure others would as well too. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. As I said, I'll be traveling throughout Europe for 7 weeks, and along the way I'll be posting a bunch of content about my experiences and what it's like solo traveling as a female who is also a person of color. It's not always great. I have solo traveled a little bit in the past before, so I have some experience. And then lastly, I'll be linking everything below if you want to check out some stuff or take it on for your next travels. So yeah, but other than that, I wish you all a wonderful day, and I will see you in next week's vlog. Peace!